What's up, y'all? We got plates in motion. You know the slogan. Get you some and stay focused. This is presented by Bankroll Media. We in the lab, entertaining no trends, and I'm your host, the Professor Chef. And today we have a special guest. This person here is real special to me. I grew up eating her food. She says she not the best cook, but she lying to y'all. This is my mom, Octavia.
Hey y'all. Hey son.
What's up, mom? What's up? So we're gonna get right into it.
All right.
All right. So, what role has food played in your life growing up, and as a mother?
So growing up, food was food. Um, I always knew I enjoyed food. And I didn't even realize that we didn't have the best food growing up. I know that I enjoyed it. And I also knew what I didn't enjoy. At a young age, I knew that although we didn't have a lot, which I said I didn't recognize then, but I know what I didn't enjoy. And we pretty much had grown up on like more processed foods, boxed foods, canned foods, and things like that. Um, and so that's all that I knew when I was growing up. And so that was fine for me. But as got older and learned new things and became a mother, I seen the difference of nutritional food. And then also being a working mother, I had to find conveniences for food to make sure that not only did you eat, but you ate some good food and that it was um, I guess, in some time with some time management.
Okay.
So that's how it like my food relationship with food evolved. It definitely evolved of like I said, growing up with just eating more of processed food and recognizing that there were fresh foods and more nutritional ways to eat when my finances were different and honestly when my family's finances were different, recognizing not only just the quality of food but more nourishing food.
Mm, I like that answer. And just to kind of go back off of that, I kind of what you saying that you grew up on kind of more processed foods. I can kind of attest to that. That growing up on your side, my mom's side, that we had home cooked meals, but a lot of it was canned. You know what I'm saying? Like canned vegetables
Mhm.
and things like that. I didn't
Mhm.
start eating full scratch made homemade meals until I got to New Mexico with my dad, and I can tell I can taste the difference. I can feel the difference, and yeah, that's just what I wanted to say, bro.
Well, honestly, it was even from eating with Tamai. Tamai always had fresh vegetables because she,
Mm-hmm.
well, so that's what I noticed when I started, being around other black folks was that there was more of a fresh vegetable. And honestly, we got more fresh vegetables during holidays. Because that was
Mm-hmm.
one thing we did. Like, that's why I was like, we had food for holidays, and it
Yeah.
was the good food for holidays.
Right.
Like, that's when the scratch made stuff came out. Like, we
Mm-hmm.
didn't have box of macaroni and cheese.
Right.
We had homemade macaroni and cheese. We had fresh green beans. We had, the fresh greens and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. That was the only time that we had food like that was for the holidays.
Right. And yep. I remember those days. I
And
definitely
although
remember
I
some of
didn't
that.
eat them, then we had like fresh yams.
You don't like, yeah, I never knew that.
No, I don't do sweet potatoes. I don't do yams.
What? Not even sweet
And I
potato
want
fries?
no, I want to like them so bad, but I don't. Like I really want to like the. I'm tried. I've tried. I've tried them in every different way. I've tried them in the sweet potato fries, sweet potato tots, different. And I was just like, yeah, I just don't care for them.
Oh, hey, everybody got their preference.
That's what it is. Is that people have their preferences, and that's okay.
Right.
But like I said, I knew early on. I knew young. I ain't like them. them sweet potatoes. Even the way that grandfather and grandma made them, they everybody says they're the best, but I didn't like them. I used to put them in the napkin and throw them away when I when I was eating when we had for Thanksgiving because they when I was a kid they put everything and
On
that
your
was the
plate.
thing everything on your plate and you supposed to finish your plate
Right.
which that is a learned behavior that I had to unlearn.
I remember this one time, not to get off topic, but great grandma made me not like Brussels sprouts because she made me sit at the table until I ate them.
Hmm.
I didn't think about putting them in the napkin.
Yep, I was putting it in my mouth and put it and wipe my mouth and put it in the napkin.
If we had lady back then, I would have gave him the lady because this was right before we got lady.
Yeah, so again, that's another part of my relationship with food is that that was a unhealthy learned behavior that I had to unlearn growing up. And as a mother, I don't believe that I gave you that of you had to clean your plate. I know
No.
grandma did, but I don't think I told you that.
Yeah, that was something I really learned outside the house. I didn't because even with my dad, like now it wasn't we finna throw it away. That's what you're gonna be eating when you're hungry later. Now it wasn't no wasting food, but I didn't have to sit at the table to eat until my plate was gone, or But yeah, yeah, it wasn't no wasting food going on, but it definitely wasn't no Zai, you not finna get up, are you? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So let's move on. Looking back, how important was the kitchen in our household, and what do you remember most about those moments?
Um, and when you say how important was the kid, you're talking about you and I's household?
Yes.
Okay. I feel it was, like I said, it was important because I know that I had to make sure that you ate and that there was a convenience there because I was a working mom. I had to make sure that for you at a young age had your convenience of things that you can go and grab and do on your own at a at a certain time. And I know I was not. I'm grateful to your dad
Hmm.
because your dad was the one that got you in the kitchen cooking for yourself. I know I was a little scared, and I guess I can say, a little lazy to say like I didn't want for you to get in there because I didn't know what you was gonna do. Um,
I know why you were
and
scared.
and and when I did try to allow you to go in, when I did try to allow you to go in and when you was making your grilled cheese sandwich, you had a napkin on the stove and it caught on fire and you just ran out, Mom, it's on something's on fire. And I had to come in there and put it out and I had to tell you, son, you can't just run out. You have to try to put it out first. And then we had the fire lesson about oil and water and then how to try to put things out.
As y'all
But
can
that was
see,
the that was the prime example of why I was a little scared. But okay.
as y'all can see, before I really got down in the kitchen, I was getting down in the kitchen from creating fires to frying chicken with no flour to season. And boy, hey, I had to lock in. It's funny because I never really tell people that moment, but I think about it real often. Like I really ran out on a fire.
Well, thank the ancestors that I was sitting right there in the living room and not upstairs.
Right, right. Because we all growing up, we always had an upstairs downstairs house. And
Right.
so I'm glad you really was downstairs because I sure did run out silently and then come seeing you and said, "Mom, it's a fire."
So yeah, it was definitely. important. Um, and he said my favorite moments for us,
What do you remember about those moments? Well, yeah, you can say favorite moments and what do you remember, the memories and things like that.
especially as I was very, I guess I could say proud and happy. Like it was when you came back from your dad, came for the summer from your dad's, and that you were in the kitchen cooking. And like I remember you making me breakfast
Hmm.
before I went to work and stuff. And it was just like it was good. It was just like, okay, okay, look at my son up here making me breakfast.
Right.
And then like seeing your confidence in the kitchen. And honestly, it was like when I think you were probably like 16 when you started to meal plan before we went shopping, and it was like, okay, I'm gonna make this and this and this week, and you did it. Like it was just
Hmm.
like we went shopping, and it was like made our dinners for the week,
Hmm.
and it was and you didn't need me in there. I kept asking you what you want me to do. I got it. And I was just like, okay, so just having to trust you and be confident that you was and the food was good.
Right. Dang. I I remember those times, but just like quick memories. I never went into detail like that of thinking like I used to really, yeah, mom, we gonna make this, and this, and really. I used to make those things, and it used to be good. And son,
And
we
you
gotta
used
make
to
this again.
right. I said, and you used to be the one like, okay, this is happening. Let's invite some folks over, and this is the menu.
Right. Oh, cause
Look,
you remember I just seen this video on my Snapchat memories when we did the All-Star weekend.
right, that was the best food.
Yep. Yeah.
That was some of the best food. I seen that plate too. I just in the memory of that plate too.
Yeah.
Well,
What you
another good memory was when we had bought some fish for you to cook. And it was we had bought two types of fish. One was for me to make and one was for you to make.
Uh-huh.
I was making the salmon and I think you was making the was it tilapia?
Yeah.
And you was supposed to fry the tilapia. And, and you fried that fish and we was like, is it, this fish tastes different. It's different. And it was like, but it's good though. And kind of find out it was the salmon you fried
Right.
and not
Hey.
the tilapia, but that was some good ass fried salmon.
Man, that's another funny story right there that I messed up, but it ended up coming out good.
Hmm.
That's when I learned I need to start learning my meats. I need to,
Yeah.
I need to start learning. Which I gotta say pause on that one, y'all.
No, I've always said that you are very comfortable in your sexuality. You don't need to pause.
Yeah, that's why I waited so long to say it. 'Cause I don't play that stuff. Hey, I know me. Nah, but yeah, that salmon was good that day. And I'm glad that happened because if that didn't happen, I would have been frying salmon for a long time, just grabbing salmon, thinking that was tilapia, not paying attention.
Yeah, or we wouldn't have found out how good fried salmon is.
That too. That too.
Yeah, we always learn from our mistakes. That's the
Right.
problem. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. Just do it because we're gonna learn from it.
Exactly. Now let's get to this next question. How do you feel seeing me turn my love for food into a career and build the Professor Chef brand?
I am extremely proud to watch this happen. I am extremely proud to be a part of it and seeing it in real life. Um, to see the way that it's happening. I, the career counselor part of me is always saying make your passion your career, but also I understand that sometimes when you do that it could take away from your passion. But I see that's what's wild for me. I see now how much you love it and where this is where your heart is. While before, when I'm sitting here talking about all of those things that you had done before, I didn't even see that at all,
Mm-hmm.
because it was like I just felt like this was something that you just enjoyed, doing at home. I didn't think that you would want to do it as a career, but when I look back, you have been doing, like I said, doing a whole meal plan for the week. Going shopping. We were going shopping together. It was like, actually, I was just there for the money, because you were the one that was like picking out how we was doing things. You even taught me things. You brought new seasonings to me. I remember when you brought home Slap Your Mama,
Uh-huh.
and and so that was, for me to think about that then, and to see how far you've come with it, and especially, without getting all emotional, like especially seeing you go back to school for what you enjoyed, and seeing you thrive in school the way you did, was so heartwarming, because I know how the struggle it was for school, and for you to decide to go back to school after the struggle you had. It You are extraordinary.
Yeah, I told moms after high school, I said, I'm done. She grew
And
up
I was
telling me,
cool with that.
yeah, she grew up telling me I gotta go to college, but then she started realizing, yeah, school ain't for him. And when I told her after graduation I'm done with school,
I,
she was good.
I was good. He had a plan. That's all that mattered to me, is that he had a plan. Yes, I kept saying you need a college degree. You need a college degree. And I also knew I just needed for him to have a plan for his life, because when he came and told me he didn't want to go to college, he had a plan, and I was just like, okay, you got a plan. That's all that matters. You got a plan. And when I saw his struggle through school, was just like, I didn't want for him to do that. He worked hella hard to get through there, and I was very proud of him. The way he finished off high school and got his diploma on time
Mm-hmm.
while in barber school.
Yeah.
So I was very proud of him. And if he didn't want to go no further, that's fine. And I was still okay with it. So when he did, complete um his his culinary adventure at this time, I was super proud. And just knowing he even wants to go further, I'm like, okay, never would have thought, but I'm super proud of you.
Yeah, that's I surprised myself wanting to go further.
But
But
I
it
always know, like I said, I know that when you start to learn something you enjoy, it's different.
mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, lots of people already know how I feel about these systems, about the school systems and all of those things.
Yeah.
But I definitely know that when you begin to learn something that you enjoy, it's so much easier, and you can just keep going.
Yeah.
Now I'm not, but yeah, y'all can do that.
Yeah, I only got one after this year, I got one more year in me and I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
proud of you,
yeah.
very.
Yeah, I'm good after that. Yeah, that's good to hear. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I be feeling selfish with these questions, like, dang, this is a question about me, but I be like, nah, I need
Nah,
to hear this.
you need to hear it. You need to know. I mean, we say things to you, but sometimes, you ain't receiving it
Right.
like it needs to be received. Because I'm gonna tell you, especially I'm gonna tell you, I'm proud of you all the time. But when you ask the question and you really listening, you get to hear it.
Exactly.
So it's definitely not being selfish. And you also gotta, I'm gonna hype you up all the time.
Right. That's what I'm like, shoot, all my guests so far, my biggest fans.
For sure, for sure.
It's so like, hey, I ain't gonna lie. I got fans.
Hella fans.
Hella fans. So I got fans.
You didn't know?
Now I know, but see, like you said, sometimes you just don't. You don't think about things like that all the time.
Hmm.
You be on the go, and that's why it's good to sit down and have conversations like these. That's why I made this podcast.
Right.
That's
I
exactly
can
why I
dig it.
made
I
it.
can dig it. I can definitely dig it.
All right, let's get into a real quick foodie question. As someone who enjoys food, what makes a meal memorable to you?
For me, it's definitely the flavor.
Mm,
As as I've, like I said, as I've grown and evolved with food, um, I wasn't necessarily a cooker. I was always most of it was just an eater, and recognize that the quality of food makes a big difference, and so that also has to do with the flavor of food. And so the presentation can be beautiful, the ambiance can be beautiful, even the people that you with can be beautiful. But if the food is not good, if the flavor is not there, I'm not going to enjoy it. I can enjoy the company,
right,
but not the food.
right. That's true. The flavor has a big part of a meal.
And I feel like it's about who cooks it, how they cook it, and the quality of the food. I'm definitely a big person of quality over quantity. That's why I am like more of a small business mom and pop type of place than a chain place, because it is about quality over quantity, and being able to enhance flavors.
Hmm.
And that also knowing that flavor isn't about salt.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's the thing. I'm big into herbs.
Hmm.
And so knowing that there are different herbs and things that you can use to bring flavor to a dish, and it doesn't have to be salt. And that is also, just a part of me about, health and nutrition.
Hmm.
That's why the flavor is the most important thing, because we can do things to make things flavorful that doesn't have to be super unhealthy. And then, like I said, it's about the taste of the food. And I'm a big sweet person as well, and I'm a cake connoisseur. And people have do all these amazing things with these cakes,
Hmm.
and they're absolutely beautiful. But if the cake ain't good, I don't care what that cake look like.
Right, right, right.
So like I said, I'm big on cake, and so for my birthday and things, it's like I don't care what that cake look like. I don't care how pretty it's looking. If it ain't good, I ain't eating it. So don't order it for
That is true.
me.
That
So
is true.
like, and then even when I'm going to people's parties and stuff, yeah, cake was beautiful, but if it's trash, it's trash.
Hey, and that's one thing. My mom is gonna be honest about your menu. She come to your party and the food wasn't good, she gonna let you know.
I mean, I ain't gonna be like, oh no, this shit is gross.
Right? Yeah, she ain't. But if you ask, she gonna tell.
But if you ask me, I'm gonna be honest about it.
Yeah.
And also, it's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. I mean, I also know that everybody is different. Everybody has their preferences, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. So, what's a dish that I make that stands out to you? I mean, what's your favorite dish that I make, and what makes it stand out to you?
Okay, so with you, there's a lot of dishes I enjoy. So for one of my favorite all-time dishes for you, which I really couldn't eat again, but I always loved it, was when you made the chicken Alfredo over rice. That was
Ooh.
so good, so flavorful, and so unique.
Yeah, I remember that one. Didn't
And
we?
that
Why do
that
we?
was always my favorite.
Why do we do that one?
You did that. I don't know what made you do the rice. That was your genius mind that said, I'm about to make this chicken Alfredo and we're going to have it over rice.
Yeah, that was. I need to run that one back
And
myself.
it was so good. Like I said, it was so good. It was so flavorful. And that Alfredo paired with that rice so
Yeah.
well.
Yes. Yes, that because it gives the gravy feel.
Mm-mm-mm. You know how I feel about my gravy.
Right. So it gave the gravy feel, but it's Alfredo sauce. And
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie, back then we wasn't making Alfredo sauce from scratch, but we was seasoning it up. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to see how it's gonna taste with my scratch Alfredo sauce.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Like I said, I can't have it now, but it was one of my favorites. But something I can say I enjoy of yours now are your soups.
Mm.
Like you can make the most flavorful broth
Mm-hmm.
just starting from water. I'm impressed.
But that I'm with that, it's because I use either vegetable base or chicken base, and that's really and
Uh-uh. Vegetable based or chicken based what?
like a seasoning, like the powder,
Uh-uh.
like a
Uh-uh.
bouillon or something.
Nope.
What
Because when you made that Mexican wedding soup for your birthday, no, you didn't.
you said? Mexican wedding soup, mom.
I mean, I mean Italian Mediterranean.
Yeah, it was.
And you know what? I always do that.
It's another thing that I learned, and this is something I learned in culinary school. Vegetables. Use fresh vegetables.
Right.
That's where the flavor is. You don't
That
have to, if you use onion and garlic, fresh ones, you don't have to use onion and garlic powder.
like I said, when you made that Italian wedding soup for your birthday, you did not use any bouillon or anything.
I sure didn't. Huh?
That was the most flavorful Italian wedding soup I've ever had.
Yeah, that was some good soup.
That broth was very good.
Yeah, that was some good soup right there. Dang, we ain't been recording, mom. No, I'm just no, but yeah. So those are the two dishes. You said the chicken Alfredo over rice
Mm-hmm.
and my soups.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're gonna have to. Oh, I can have it if you do some shrimp Alfredo. You could even do
Oh,
some salmon Alfredo. Oh.
oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I love making salmon.
Mm-hmm.
I love, yeah. We're gonna have to definitely do that.
I hope I just said salmon. Did I say salmon?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, now we gonna get in your bag real quick.
My bag.
Yeah, your bag.
Okay. Okay.
Do you think people sometimes use food as a coping mechanism during stressful, emotional, or difficult times?
Most definitely. I know that myself, I've used food as coping mechanisms. I did not know for a while that I was doing it, but I do. So people definitely use food as a coping mechanism. It makes them, feel better. Um, Not only just for comfort foods. I just learned recently that, like that chewing motion, it hits that your endorphins, and that's your the happiness in your brain. That's the happiness that comes off that makes you feel happy. So that chewing motion hits those endorphins. And so, yes, it is something that makes you feel better. And so, beside from like just having the chewing, but then like that whole sensation of these comfort foods, that's more of like um, the starchy foods or the sweets that make also hit these endorphins and make you feel good. So yeah, it is definitely a comfort, or it also mentally takes you back to the good times when you had this, like when you had the happy moments in your childhood and you had these foods. It brings back those good memories. I'm sure that there's a certain food that you had when you were a child and that it brought back, some good memories of times with family or friends or whatever. And so that's where the comfort comes in. So when you are stressed, you know, you will eat that to give you, even if it's just a moment of that happiness, a moment of them high endorphins.
Okay. Yeah, that's yeah. You got me
And
thinking a little bit. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And the thing is, too, as we say, coping mechanisms. I always want to emphasize that we all have coping mechanisms. They're either healthy or unhealthy. So eating doesn't have to be an unhealthy coping mechanism. You just always want to be intentional about what you're doing and know why you're doing it, and that's why it's important. It's like I know when we give more intention to it, it gives us more control that we don't feel like we're out of control.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I know that I'm stressed, so I am going to eat this Snickers bar, but I don't have to eat five of these Snickers bars
Right.
because I'm intentional, I'm aware, and I'm knowing. I know that I am sad, so I'm going to just eat this popcorn. You can be intentional with it and knowing that I don't have to eat the full bag of popcorn.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that
Yep. That's, yeah. That's really yeah. It's my bad, y'all. That really got me thinking in my head. Like, yeah, like, cause me and my mom, we have conversations all the time, but it just feels different on the podcast because she's giving different answers, and so got me in my head. Like, yes, but yeah, I feel you on that. That be intentional with it. It's not always a
and
bad thing.
right, and then you can also, when you're more intentional, you can also decide what it is that I want to eat when I'm stressed. Do I, like if we choose these things, to choose, some quote unquote better options, or choosing not to eat as much, or honestly knowing what's good for my body, then that's, when we are having these emotional eating times, that it won't be as detrimental as it can, to your physical health when you are going through a mental health challenge.
So, what do you think the difference between eating for nourishment and eating for comfort?
It's about knowing you and knowing your body, because you have to ask yourself, am I hungry? That's eating for nourishment.
Mm,
Am I truly hungry right now, or is there another need I'm getting met? And that's comfort.
that's facts. That's a battle that I'm facing right now because you know me, I'm a snacker.
All day long.
So I really just have to say sometimes, like, bro, do you need to eat? Are you hungry? Or do you just want to munch on something? Because even with now, I wouldn't say I'm not a big snacker. I don't eat junk food as much anymore, but I will snack on a meal all day. I will make a plate and snack on that plate all day when I can just eat the meal and be good.
You're your grandma's grandson. but but you are the snack king. You've
Right.
always been the snack king, and there's nothing wrong with that. The way that you eat with that, and I mean, eat in that way.
Right.
And I said, and that's the thing. Is just like, honestly, the way that this world is set up and the way that society is, and like the way that we're not able to listen to our bodies as much as we should. We become so much more aware. When it's important for us to become aware of ourselves, to know what's good for us and what's not, when to eat, when not to eat, and those things like that. But in real life, that our life is not set up for us to do that in that way, if we're
Right.
being real about it. Because for me, I work hard now to eat when I'm hungry. But
Right.
it's, if being somebody, being in the society and having to work and do those things, it's like that's not always possible. That's not always feasible. That's not, that I can't always just wait till I'm hungry to eat. Sometimes I have to eat before I'm hungry, because then I have a meeting, or I have, a client, I have this or I have that, or whatever the case may be. And so that is the best thing for us, is to listen to our body cues, to say, okay, when I'm, let me eat when I'm hungry. And so sometimes that is smaller meals throughout the day. Or, for some people, it's like, I prefer to have my bigger meal in the morning or midday, but however it may be. But there is different, our body is on different cycles. And so it's like, we don't know, we have been conditioned to eat in certain ways. We have been conditioned that breakfast is in the morning, lunch is at this time, and then dinner is at this time. But, we're not being conditioned to listen to our bodies.
Right.
And that's when we have to know, that's why it is important for us to listen to our bodies, because that's how you know what nourishes your body, because we are uniquely and wonderfully made. So nourishment for me is not necessarily the same as nourishment for you.
Right.
Like, everybody thing is, eat chicken. Chicken is more healthier. Chicken is not healthier for my body.
Right. Right.
Like, chicken is not good for my body. My body does not like chicken. So what's healthier for you is not healthier for me.
Right. And those are the type of conversations I want to get into when I start my culinary coaching. I mean, we had those conversations because you were my first mock client. So,
Hmm.
uh, and that's another reason why I do want to further my education in culinary, is to understand these foods and what they do to us, and really help you understand, help other people understand what they, you know what I'm saying? Like, because
Hmm.
like you said, you gotta know your body, but you do also have to know the food.
Hmm. That's it's important. That's, knowing yourself, knowing your body, and know what food is good for your body.
Right.
And I know that you know this. For me, like I said, when I was, learning more about food, as I gotten older, and that my relationship with food and the role of food had, evolved in my life, and learning new things, that I was, go through different phases of foods, of what I was going to eat, what I wasn't going to eat, take a break from this for a month. I'm doing that I still do that. Tell people, okay, I'm not eating this right now. I'm cutting back on this. But that is it was a way for me to figure out how my body worked with these foods.
Yeah, she used to change her diet every month, y'all. Yeah, son. So what I'm not eating this month, you can eat whatever, but what I'm not eating this month,
And it was a hassle at times, but it also helped me understand what the world support and what they did not support.
mm-hmm.
Like, there was sometimes it was a whole lot harder for me to pick up food than it was for other times. The convenience of it was not always real.
Yeah. Yeah, that
And I
is. Yeah, what you just said, that is that the world don't support every food.
hmm
So yeah. Now we're gonna close it off with this question. What role do you think food plays in healing, bringing people together, and creating community?
I feel like food opens up a lot of conversations, especially when people are coming together. And now, when people are more open about their restrictions, and people have more different dietary needs, um, it brings people. It gives you a more of an open mind. And as I just know, in my communities, anytime we come together, there is food.
Yeah.
And um, So that is what brings us together. And also too, just again when I talk about that, those endorphins and those chew the way you chew, and that it's like your happy place, that they always say that's why people want to take you out to dinner to make deals, because then you're in a better mood.
Right.
They want to take you out to eat because you're in a better mood. So food does put us in a good mood, and it can also, but food is not always a happy place for everybody.
Right.
And so it's just like I feel that when people are more, I guess you can say more sensitive to other people's needs, more aware of other people's needs, and like being able to have an open conversation and not, make people feel bad about some of their, needs, their dietary needs, or what, what's needed for them, or what they're not doing, like what they're choosing not to eat. Or what they, and being able to open to asking questions, it gives people a certain freedom to be able to go and be around, other people with in food, and be able to still fellowship without feeling like they're left out or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, so that is where, um, some emotional, some social emotional healing can come from. I think that many of us, especially in in our communities, are really undereducated about food and how much food does impact our health, and
Yeah.
that's our physical and our mental health. And
Right.
so I think that is a good place of gathering, as well as to be able to have those real conversations about, um, how much it can impact, and how it can bring healing and bring harm, to for what you're choosing to do and how you're choosing, to eat, and that's even without putting restrictions
Right.
on things. It's just like everything in moderation.
Right.
Like everything in moderation, everything doesn't have to be a restriction unless it brings harm.
Right.
And being 1,000 with that, like keeping it 100 with that for transparency for myself, is just like, yeah, no, my body don't like chicken or eggs, and I will still partake from time to time, because those were some of my favorite foods. So it was disappointing when
Yeah.
my I could no longer eat them again. So when I see something that look really good, and I, have a conversation with my stomach and be like, we about to do this. It ain't gonna be a lot, but we gonna do this. And sometimes my stomach will let me know, go ahead and do it. Other times they be like, mm-mm. I'm like, okay.
Right. You got to listen to your body.
You gotta listen to your body. And so that's where, healing around food is. It's like us being having knowledge, awareness, and being able to have open conversations, and being kind,
Mm-hmm.
being kind around foods,
Mm.
because we know we can be unkind.
Yeah. 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 That energy is big.
Yes,
Energy is definitely big, and I'm not gonna lie. People always talk about the energy of the cook, but it's also the energy of the guests around the table that
yes.
can.
I don't eat with everybody.
Everybody can't sit at my table.
Exactly. I don't eat with if you not bring, because and it's been proven that when you're eating while you're stressed or not in a relaxed, you don't digest well.
Right.
When the energy is off and you're not feeling good, your food is not digested well.
Right.
That's about that mindful eating.
Mm-hmm.
Being mindful when you're eating. Pay attention to that yourself for yourself sometimes. Think about how it is. when you're rushing to eat food, trying to have a busy day, and you on the run eating, how well does that food digest to when you're sitting down, relaxed, having a good time eating?
That's something I will take the time to think on for real now. Yup, that is something.
Yeah, that's also a part of how food can be healing.
All right.
So I can actually, I'm really stopping myself from saying a lot because I can go further and further and further, but I don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all gotta pay for that. No. Nah, it's okay. So we gonna that was a nice little conversation. We can stop it there because you definitely gonna come back.
For
Uh,
sure, for sure, for sure.
is there anything that you want to promote before we get off here?
I wouldn't necessarily say promote,
Mm-hmm.
but I am um, a mental health coach, and my focus is on revolutionizing relationships to rehumanize our Black folks. And so that is just educating on self awareness and emotional awareness, um, to heal ourselves to be able to show up in community well. And I like these conversations because people, like I said, that we don't understand how much of an impact food, eating, cooking, and all that has on ourselves alone and our community in a whole.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And we got I'm gonna say this, we got something coming. Our podcast coming soon. Me and my mom come here with
Yes,
us. We
yes.
talking about healing through food, music, movies. What else?
Food, music, movies. I think that was it.
But yeah, check that out. We will be on the lookout for that. Uh, this has been another episode of Plates in Motion. Y'all know the slogan: "Get you some and stay focused." Thank you for stopping by, Mom.
Well, thank you so much for having me, son. It's truly a pleasure being here. It's truly a pleasure to witness and have these conversations with you.
And I'm glad we had this, and definitely got to come back, and I can't wait till we start ours.
All
But
right, for sure, for sure, for sure.
I've been the Professor Chef, and Plates up.